If you're looking for a financial analyst position online and can't figure out which of the many job titles and job descriptions are actually for real financial analyst positions, then you've come to the right video. Hey, I'm Shawn Hakimi. I've worked in FP&A in both Fortune 500s and highly ranked startups, and throughout this video, I'm going to show you exactly what to look for when applying to FP&A positions to make sure that you're actually going to a job that will benefit your career rather than hinder it. Now, before we jump in, you may have noticed that I'm using financial analysts and FP&A almost interchangeably. And the reason for this is that there's a lot of new people to the finance world who don't realize that financial analyst is a very vague term. And so when you're looking for what to do when applying to financial analyst jobs or how to become a financial analyst, it can mean a variety of different things. And the one role that I believe most people are actually looking for is something called FP&A, which stands for Financial Planning and Analysis. Now, if you happen to join a financial analyst job that doesn't have anything to do with FP&A by mistake, you're going to have a much tougher time transitioning into a real FP&A role because a lot of the skills tend to not actually transfer over. So how do we avoid that mistake? Well, the first thing that I do is we need to make sure we know which job titles are not going to be for FP&A. So what jobs are not really FP&A? Well, here's a few title examples of what I wouldn't be searching for. Financial reporting analyst, budget analyst, pricing analyst, or revenue analyst. Anything that sounds like those are something that I'd exclude from my search when trying to get a financial planning and analysis job. The reason for that, just to touch on budget analyst or financial reporting analyst. A financial reporting analyst is probably going to be a lot more accounting focused, and you tend to see that a lot of times with the descriptions of jobs with this title. And same thing with a budget analyst role. Typically, these are smaller companies a lot of times that just want someone to focus on a budget, but it's not really a fully encompassed FP&A role that is going to help you advance your career. And so that's why I'd recommend not searching for that one specifically. Okay, so now that we know that, what job titles should we really be narrowing our saved searches on to make sure we're getting the most out of our time when applying or looking at several job postings within a day? So the titles that are a good place are going to be financial analyst, FP&A analyst, or even ones like finance associate. Now, I'm not saying every role with these titles is going to be specifically for FP&A, but what I am saying is that when you save your search to these specifically, especially FP&A analyst and financial analyst, you're going to have the highest probability of running into the jobs that are whole encompassing for financial planning and analysis. And with that, now that we know which job titles to search for and which ones to not really spend our time on, which job descriptions and specific bullet points should we be looking out for to know off the top that it's a financial planning and analysis role? Now, just because the job title even is FP&A analyst, you need to know what to look out for in the job description because, believe it or not, I've actually seen roles where the job title's FP&A analyst, but then when you look at the description, it really doesn't sound like a FP&A role where you're going to learn valuable skills. It's kind of like false advertising. And so what bullet points or phrases should you be listening for when you're scrolling through jobs or even in a recruiting screening call to make sure that it's really for FP&A? The first thing you're going to want to look out for, which is the number one indicator that it's for sure an FP&A position, is that it definitely needs to say you'll be doing budgeting and forecasting within the role. The second thing I want you to look out for is if the role mentions that you'll be working with other stakeholders or other budget owners, other departments, anything like that, to build a budget, build a forecast, do a budget versus actuals. Any of those keywords within the job description paired with our first point are really good indicators that you're looking at a solid FP&A position. The last thing that I'd really look out for to make sure you know this is an FP&A job, and if the first two were there, then you probably have the green light to go ahead and apply. But the third that kind of nails it in the coffin is if it mentions financial modeling or ad hoc analysis. And for those of you who don't know, ad hoc just means out of routine analysis. That's aside from the typical FP&A responsibilities, and those kinds of experiences are really going to allow you to grow and up-level yourself throughout your FP&A career. So the next time you're looking at roles and you find something like this Senior Analyst FP&A position at Nike, you can go into the description and see what it's talking about for the role. And on this one, you can see the main focus it's talking about is enhancing the EPM systems capability and identifying opportunities for systems upgrades. Collaborate with cross-functional teams to assess the impact of the EPM. All this about EPM system, it has nothing to do with the core FP&A position. And so one thing to note is that a lot of FP&A jobs, if they include system or some other letters like this within the title, they might be more of like someone who's focused on building out the tools that the FP&A team uses, but they're not actually on the FP&A team. And patience goes a long way when waiting to apply to the right FP&A role. It's really going to lead you to having a much faster growing career. And now that you know exactly what to apply for to make sure you're getting into a good FP&A job, you're going to want to make sure you're getting a good salary to go with that. And so I've made this video right here that goes into all the details year by year on how much you should expect to make within a career in FP&A. Until next time, talk soon.